In a rally car, it's very common to see 70 degrees.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Very, very common. While we're wearing multiple layers of clothing and your helmet.
You say hello to your car?
Yeah, we talk to our machines for
Okay,
sure because
okay.
they have life in them, you know.
Okay.
And if you don't respect them, they don't respect you.
Okay. Well, what do you call them? Do you have a name for them or just...
Some in a short way, I say this, you know, I'll give you respect. You stay with me. For me, honestly, I'm not a engineering guy when it comes to fuel mixtures, but I know that it's something that is hampering a lot of the cars,
Yeah.
including mine, which I've owned for some time. Honestly, I don't really know how much it's going to impact the pollution around the city because if it can pass the pollution test,
Yeah.
then I don't understand where the problem is.
Yeah.
An EV is for a person who's going to actually drive around the car at least 70 to 80 kilometers a day minimum. Obviously, I'm never going to open that for my kids to pop out on a main road. That's not what it's meant to be.
Yeah.
And it's completely putting your child's life in extreme risk and danger. Stop using the damn phone.
Stop using the damn phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get so pissed off
Stop
all the
using
time.
the phone.
When I go back home so many times from Gurgaon and I see so many people, like probably hundreds a day,
Okay.
watching YouTube while driving.
A ਗੱਡੀ sunroof ਵੀ ਹੈ ਚਲੋ ਜੀ Hi guys, welcome to yet another episode of the Lifesaver Show. This is a very, very special episode for me because I have not ventured into this territory or done something like this ever before. So I want to introduce you to my guest and my driver for the day. He is a professional rally driver and an Arjuna awardee in motorsport. Hello Gaurav.
Hello, how are you?
Welcome to my show and your car.
Good to have you in my car and thanks for having me on the show.
And so we asked Gaurav to drive us around town, and what better way to get him to reveal a few of his rally driving secrets than him actually driving the car, right?
Not on the public roads though.
However, I might add that I'm looking uber cool as a navigator sitting next to him, right? Okay, so ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਦੱਸੋ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੰਨੇ ਫਿਟ ਹੈਗੇ ਹੋ ਹਾਲੇ ਤੱਕ ਵੀ ਮਤਲਬ what is I'm not trying to take anything away from that but I want to know like what does it take to achieve this sort of fitness at this level after driving for like so many years?
Yeah, I mean, I've been driving non-stop. I don't even remember how long I've been driving for, but this is my
कुछ
life.
weight category भी होती है कि you
No,
have to
no,
keep
no,
yourself
no,
at
no.
a
Of course
certain
there is.
weight?
No, of course there is. You can't be big, overweight because it's going to impact and hamper the performance of the car directly.
Yeah.
Because you have restricted horsepower,
Okay.
and it's going to completely affect your speeds and your handling also. So we have to keep a certain check on our weight, but. In rallying, you have to be very strong also because सानू कदी repair अपने आप करना पैंदा, we have to
अच्छा.
change our tires ourselves and
Okay.
एक टायर 35-30 किलो दा है, so you can't be weak and continue to do the repairs yourself sometimes. But in formula racing, of course, weight is a massive issue. They have to keep in check. Even every kilogram makes a massive difference in the performance of the race car. So
Okay.
it's directly linked, yes,
Okay.
for sure.
So what is your typical morning routine? What is it like?
So for me, the most important thing is to always get a very good, sleep time, which
Okay.
is most of the sports people, professional sports people will do around the world. If you've heard, that the sleep repairs your body, your muscles, and your mind, obviously. So
So you're
have to
powered on
have-
sleep and not caffeine.
I love. No. I'm not a big coffee guy. I mean, I
Okay.
don't mind my coffee, but it's not that I need the coffee or caffeine every day to, survive or get my day along.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I generally try to sleep 8 hours for sure, and I try to work out every day. I mean, it depends on my season time. When it's a little bit off season, I try to work out a lot outdoors also.
Okay.
Just to build up my stamina and to be around nature and in the heat, in the sun, because directly impacts on what we do. When we drive race cars, because in a rally car, you wouldn't be aware, but the inside cabin temperature,
No, I
right,
believe
we've
so.
done.
Yeah. It gets quite hot.
It's very common to see 70 degrees.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Very, very common. While we're wearing multiple layers of clothing and your helmets, and there's no windows, obviously. We
Okay.
have small slots, but there's hardly any air coming in. The only air we get is from the roof scoop.
Okay.
So it's very important. So early on in my career, I used to wear my overalls and I used to sit and train in the sauna. Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Okay.
Because that was the closest thing that I could get to, acclimatize and get used to the extreme heat of the cabin in the car. So a lot of people have done that, and
Okay.
including me. And it's been helping. And later on, obviously, mindset the gala, you when you have that much love for that sport, you don't really care. And you know, when you have such high levels of concentration driving at such speeds, then you don't really see anything. You have tunnel vision, and you know, you're like you know, a guy who's connected to the racetrack and to the car only.
ਤੇ ਇਟਸ ਜਿਸ ਬੜੀ ਡੇਂਜਰਸ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਚ ਹੈਗੇ ਹੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ
ਹਾਂਜੀ.
ਉਹਦੇ ਚ ਇੰਜਰੀਜ਼ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੋਣੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਹਾਊ ਡੂ ਯੂ ਡੀਲ
for
ਵਿਦ
sure, yeah.
and you've when we were sitting for coffee he's literally spelt out all the injuries that he's had from his knee to his shoulder to his ankle everything ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਹੀ ਟੁੱਟਿਆ ਭੱਜਿਆ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ
Yeah, it's part and parcel of the sport, but
what does it teach you?
actually it all started with my biking days.
Okay.
So I used to race bikes, motocross and rally
Okay.
early on.
Huh.
And that is a very, very high injury, high risk sport. Obviously, if you make a small mistake, you obviously fall instantly, and while you're doing those speeds or jumping in the air at 15 feet, obviously you're going to go flying just like a ball that's been kicked out of the stadium. You know? So you know, when you land, you don't know, you have no control. So I've gone through multiple surgeries in my ankle, knee, wrist, shoulder. Part and parcel of the sport, I guess, but never
has
say
it made
die.
you tougher? Like in your
obviously.
Mentally, has it made you tougher?
Oh, for sure, yes. You learn to live with the pain. You build that threshold. You build resilience, and you know what to do next. And you start understanding your body, with time, and how much to push it, where to push it, where not to push it. I have certain, I have a mindset where I know that my ankle has had multiple surgeries done and multiple injuries, so I know I don't have to push it the other way. I can't have lateral loads too much, or I don't want to play too much tennis on a hard court, because it's going to flare up and it's going to give me again issues for the next 5 days. So you learn how to manage. Even today, if you see Dakar and you see all the motocross riders, a lot of people have so many injuries, but they're still at it. They're still winning out races, winning world championships. So it's part and parcel of this sport.
No pain, no gain वाली गल है मतलब.
Absolutely. Go hard or go home.
Go hard or go home. Okay. Give me a bullet point checklist for before you start your car. What do you do? Because I might want to do the same thing.
Oh yeah, that's very, very important.
Yeah,
so these are the machines that we connect to, right?
Okay.
And I say hello to my car, and I promise.
You say hello to your car?
Yeah, we talk to our machines for sure, because they have life in them, and if you don't respect them, they don't respect you.
Okay.
It's very, very important.
What do you call them? Do you have a name for them, or just?
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely I give them love. I try to give them love, apart from driving absolutely flat out.
Okay.
But that's what it's built for, and that's what it's made for. So yeah, give it respect, don't abuse it, and you have a sort of a connection with the car that you drive. So it's very common for all of us guys at the top level to be engaged with the race car that you use.
Okay.
In a short way, I said, I'll give you respect, you stay with me.
When I learned how to drive, and I used to sit next to my dad, and he used to tell me exactly the same thing. He's like, gaddi nu na apni samajh ke chalao.
It's like, horse.
Yeah.
It's like a horse, owning a horse and going out on a race horse. You will speak to the horse, right? It's not going to speak back to you or talk back to you, right? But they understand emotions. They understand exactly the same pattern. Like if you abuse the horse, it's going to chuck you, throw you off, or chuck you out of the whole race.
Yeah.
So it's something quite similar. Obviously, it's a machine. It's not a living being, but it's the same kind of a concept that we have.
The other thing that he used to tell me was that beta ji gaddi ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਉਹ ਪਾਣੀ ਨਾਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਚੱਲਦੀ. ਉਹਦੇ ਚ ਤੇਲ ਪਾਉਣਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਹੈ. So anytime you see, and he used to be so fixated on when the tank used to come down, he's like, tank ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ fuel tank it should be full.
Yes.
Don't get it to like that E point or whatever, and
reserve.
Just don't drive around like that.
I would stick to that. I still do the same every day. All my cars, I don't let it go to the reserve point of the fuel tank. And I always go from that point to always full. So you keep the tank healthy, keep all the functions going well.
Now that I've come to the fuel bit, what are your thoughts on this petrol blending that we're doing? And even though it is eco-friendly, but at the end of the day, it's ethanol mixed with petrol. What are your views on how is the car functioning, and how the machine's taking
Well, honestly, it's a decision done by the government to keep the environment green. Is that what they claim to be? But it's really, I think it's hampering quite a lot of cars around the whole country, because the cars are built, the engines are built and tuned to a certain level of fuel mixture.
Okay.
And I mean, with whatever I've read and heard, that it's obviously impacting big time into a lot of the older generation cars and engines.
Yeah.
And they're really suffering big time and badly, and they're having major issues. So Well, this is the step of the government to ensure that there's more clean air around us or for the next generation. But I don't know how good is it for the cars that are currently being run. So it's a big, you know, question which is debatable, I think. For a very
But
long
what do
time.
you think people can do if your car is, let's say, not equipped to handle the E20 fuel?
Most of the cars nowadays are equipped because
Ah.
they run on automatic fuel mixture systems, but slightly older cars can't really take the impact and the difference in the way the combustion engine works. So,
Okay.
for me, honestly, I'm not you know, a big engineering guy with when it comes to fuel mixtures, but I know that it's something that is hampering a lot of the, you know, cars,
Yeah.
including mine, which I've owned for some time. So, well, we got to find a way out, and have been some instances, and people have found ways to delete ethanol also, which I don't
Oh,
want
yeah?
to really say something more about that, but
Okay.
people can look it up on the YouTube to do
Okay.
that. And
But you spoke about these older cars also, you know, that have been taken off the roads, and I think it's extremely unfair with what the Supreme Court ruling has done to perfectly good cars. Okay, but again, it's very fluid and it's very grey as to what is allowed and what's not. What is
Correct.
your opinion on that?
Oh well, I mean, for sure, I'm one of the guys who've suffered majorly with these, you know, these rules. But
Okay.
you know, me owning some really nice cars over the years of my motorsport career, having to let them go because I live in Delhi and I
Yeah.
can't drive them. You know, every time
Yeah.
I take them out, it's illegal now to
Yeah.
drive them, even though they pass the pollution test
Yeah.
absolutely and fairly.
Yeah.
You know, with fair numbers and you know, like new cars do. But since the government has decided no, that this is how it's going to be. It's really been a big impact to my fleet of cars, which I've had to sell or shift out of Delhi.
I'm sure a lot of nearly everybody is facing this problem.
Yes, it
and
is.
they've
It's
been
very
forced to
common,
sell off
and
their.
it's a very. I think it's very. It's a big impact to a lot of people around, you know. And I'm honestly, I don't really know how much it's going to impact the pollution around the city, because if it can pass the pollution test,
Yeah.
then I don't understand where the
Yeah.
problem is. So
Yeah.
I'm being very practical about it. Like if it doesn't pass the pollution test, I understand. I'm with the government. But if
Okay.
it does, and it is, then why? I mean, if you see other countries, like, you know, a lot of countries like in, for example, UK and Europe, they have a fitness test,
Yeah.
which is a 12-month fitness test or a fitness certificate. You apply for the fitness certificate, the car goes on to the fitness center. They check your you know, pollution levels, they check your suspension levels, blah blah blah. You know, there's a you know, 20 odd checklist, whatever test that they do, and you pay a certain amount of fee, and you drive the car on the road as long as
Yeah.
it's roadworthy
Yeah.
and it's pollution friendly and
Yeah.
it's non-polluting.
Yeah.
I don't understand why. You know, cars have you know, so much history, you know, personalities. You know, you have a lot of, you know, sometimes, like for me, it's a lot of connect with the family, you know.
Hanji.
So, I mean, I don't really see why I should part with the car that
Yeah.
I've loved, my family has loved, and I want to, you know, have it in my garage for the future generation
Hanji.
as my memory, you know. So now it's really literally impossible unless I keep it in a different city.
Would you ever drive an EV?
In fact, I just bought one. For
Oh,
the
you
house,
did?
For the house.
What are your thoughts, Mr. Gill, on an EV, and who, according to you, should buy or have one?
Well, an EV is for a person who's going to actually drive around the car
Ah.
at least 70 to 80 kilometers a day minimum.
Okay.
Like minimum mileage. Only then.
Long distances.
Yeah, then only you will actually, you know, make or gain the most of the money that's been spent. Your savings are only going to come back to you when you really actually use the car like a taxi or
Okay.
a cab, every
Okay.
day.
Okay.
Because you know, it's actually quite cheap, because one of my best friends just bought it, and
Ah.
I only persuaded him to buy the car, and
Okay.
he's really been excited about it, and he's been driving it like a taxi every day, and he's like, I barely spend like $3,000 a month, and he's already clocking like 10,000 kilometers
Okay.
plus in the last couple of months.
Okay.
So it's absolutely fine. I think, you know, there's a big push from the government, especially from Mahindra, that they're setting up some 2,500 stations across the country with really, you know, fast chargers. So they're also, you know, pushing hard to, you know, to have more confidence in the consumer, because right now there's a big gap, you know, with the charging facilities and people buying cars not having confidence, driving them out of town especially, you know. And again, when you drive out of town, that's where again your gains will be, you know, with a lot of distance that you can get. Plus, you know, if you clock 600-700 kilometers, it's going to probably cost you like a couple of ₹100 to.
Okay.
But then again, you know, you have to have the confidence to know where it's going to be charged, because some people are complaining that, yeah, the charge stations are not working half the time.
Yeah.
They're not set up, or even if you pre-book, somebody's already there and charging their cars. So basically, I think it just needs to be a little more, you know, planned.
Infrastructure-wise
And,
or all.
yeah, it has to be more planned, and
Do you think they have a good future in India? Otherwise?
I think the way the government is
Pushing
you know,
for them.
reacting and pushing to the EV sector, with obviously the automotive companies all working together with the government, it has seen a massive growth in the last 2-3 years, especially.
Okay.
Me
Okay.
being you know, with Mahindra for so many years and developing the cars and helping them you know, with these, so I've seen a lot of massive sale numbers, and which show that, you know, yes, it is being successful. But if you see globally, the market is actually going against the EV and going through to hybrid, and you know, the other technologies available now with hydrogen also coming in very strongly from big manufacturers. So I mean, it's a very, again, you know, very debatable question depending on the region you are around the world, you know. Like if you're in Europe, some manufacturers are going against EV because they feel that it's not profitable for their companies and in the long run, and they're switching to hybrids and hydrogen. Well, if you see in Asia, especially in India being one of the largest countries, and China, they're going hell and leather with the EV market, and you know, really pumping in a lot of money. So so it is, yeah, I mean, where for where we live, I mean, it is the next it is the future for sure.
थोड़ी जी fast and furious type conversation करते हैं.
Let's go.
What are you are into modifications and all of that as well, and what are the kind of modifications that you have done in your car? Tell me in detail. I want to know.
So honestly, I mean, there's again a big. This is like a big gap or between the modification, non-modification, and a rally car. You know, there's a lot of difference.
Yeah.
There's completely opposite kind of parts that are used in a modified car versus a rally car. Rally cars are handmade, hand-built. Modified cars are cars which are modified, you know, for your own practical or impractical use, or as per your own, you know, spec.
Yeah.
Whereas the rally cars that we drive are spec'd as per the FIA homologation. So we're restricted to spec them to a certain level and to certain, you know, components. My own car, I mean, yeah, I mean, I generally just modify the exhaust and I retune the car to make it even faster.
Okay.
Yeah, but
So
my
if
sports car.
someone was to, let's say, wanting to do mods on their car, what are the, let's say somebody who's not a race car driver, who just wants to make the car look good, what are the kind of modifications that you would suggest? कि ये कराना चाहिए आपको?
So for my own cars, I had an M3 and an M6. So what I did was I make them lower to look cooler and handle better.
Okay.
Put an exhaust so that it sounds good, and put some nice wheels, nice exhaust, and you know, a nice, you know, add on some body kits. Plus tune them. My earlier car was supercharged, so I had a V8 and I supercharged the V8, so it was like over 640 horsepower.
Okay.
Apart from that, I mean, there's no real limit. You know, you can modify your car. You can spend 5 times more than the car to, you know, spec it up to the way you like to see it, the way you like to drive it.
Yeah.
There's no real budget to actually
These
go
days,
crazy.
a lot of people are being fined also, na Gaurav, for modifying their, like, when the tires are jutting out, or those high, a lot of SUVs have those high-powered LED lights and all as well.
Oh yeah, I'm not into all that. I mean, I don't want to spoil the geometry and the handling of the car. The car has to handle really nice. That basically completely spoils the geometry and the handling of the car, but it looks cool, and some people just
But
love
why
it.
is it not allowed here? Like, what is the issue here? Because world over, those mods are allowed. The modifications and the tires and
I mean,
all.
to be honest, I don't know what is the logic behind it, but for me, there is no real. I mean, it's not unsafe.
Yeah.
I mean, for sure. Maybe it's unsafe for, say, you're on the phone, or you're not paying attention to maybe a scooty rider or a, you know, two-wheeler who's standing next to you with his foot, and you don't realize that your tire is sticking out by 12 inches or 16 inches, and you just probably go over his foot, and with those kind of tires and wheels, you won't even realize, you know, whether you've gone over someone's foot.
Yeah.
So for me, apart from that, I don't really see anything unsafe about it. Of course, it handles like crap
Hmm.
because it's going to completely spoil the geometry. So it's going to be a little difficult to drive it fast.
Hmm. Very strangely, most of these modifications happen in Thars and Scorpios. Okay, and
I know where
there's
this is
been-
going.
yeah, there's this mentality. While actually, I am very fond of the Thar. I have
Of
been,
course,
I have
yeah,
been, I have driven like 4 Mahindra cars myself,
Yeah,
and
I've
I've been
also
very
had
fond
them.
of them. But the only thing is that there is some sort of उनको हो जाता है ना कुछ थार में बैठ के क्या होता है like what happens to them, do they lose sense of like complete common sense when they're behind the wheel or what is it?
As a joke, you know,
Yeah.
a couple of my friends have Thars, and I've actually asked them after the incident that is there something, is there an imbalance in your brain when you drive one? Even though they're very smart, you know, established people, big business people,
Huh.
and they said we are yet to find out what happens to us. So I don't know what's going on.
What exactly happens when you get behind the Thar? Maybe you guys, if you're watching this show, tell me what exactly happens to drivers.
Yeah,
when
I
they
would
get
also
behind
love
the
to
Thar.
know, you know, what's
Yeah, so
happening.
tell us in the comments कि
Yeah.
and especially if you own a Thar or a Scorpio, कुछ हो जाता है क्या मतलब गाड़ी steering wheel पकड़ते सार
You feel powerful. You feel like you're
Yeah.
a Marvel character, I think.
कि
you
सब
know.
मतलब उड़ते
Yeah.
हुए चलेगी
बस
गाड़ी.
कि,
It's
yeah,
not
no, I
gonna be
own
on
the road.
Yeah, like you
Yeah,
own the road
yeah,
sort of a thing.
It's just a feeling of that SUV that gives you more confidence, you know. It's like
Hmm.
when you drive, if you see earlier ads from the Range Rover or Land Rover companies, you know, they say, you know, when you drive one, you own the road. So
Yeah.
if you see in earlier times, they used to, this is how they used to market a car, the product, and sell them, you know.
Yeah.
So maybe people are literally taking that meaning to another level.
Losing all sense of logic. Seriously. Okay, let's talk a little bit on road safety. And now that you're a parent, has your driving style changed after becoming a dad? Have you become safer on the road?
I was always safe on the road. I mean,
Okay,
you
okay.
know, because when you drive such fast cars for so many years, you understand like a small thing can go wrong, and you know it can be a catastrophe, you know, for you or people around you. So to be honest, in Delhi, you can't even average more than 30 kilometers an hour.
Yeah,
I think
that's
on a good
true.
day. So
Yeah.
I mean, there's no point even thinking about driving fast. You know, we're on the highway. I try to just stick to the speed limit and you know have a nice momentum, enjoy the roads. My priority is to have everyone safe in the car first. Everyone has to be belted up, whether they're in the center row, back row, I don't care, you know, they're all belted up properly, my family. And ensure, because, you know, you have to understand the fact that, you know, maybe you can't make a mistake, but the other person
The
can.
other person can.
So if
Yeah.
you're standing on a red light and
Yeah.
you see a truck behind which has failed its brakes and
Yeah.
it's coming at 60 kilometers an hour, this car is not going to,
Yeah.
you know, it's going to be like, it's going to crush it
Yeah.
like a peanut, you know,
Yeah.
with so much weight. So you never know what's going to happen. You never know. Accidents don't really warn you before they happen. So if you have that mentality, you know, you'll keep yourself safe.
Okay, now I want you to give me some driving tips, safe driving tips, which is keeping in sort of in line with the tagline of the Lifesaver show, which is basically not to just save your own life, but also save the lives of people on the road.
Yeah, of course.
So, few things that people can keep in mind when they're driving.
Stop
Specifically.
using the damn phone.
Stop using the damn phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just get so pissed
Okay,
off
stop
all the
using
time.
the phone.
People
Number
are
one.
they're just so into their phones. They don't care about the traffic lights. When they turn green, they're still on the phone.
Okay.
Trying to chat or, you know, look at movies. And when I go back home so many times from Gurgaon and I see so many people, like probably hundreds a day,
Okay.
watching YouTube while driving. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you serious?
Huh.
Like, how can somebody do that?
Huh.
Okay, fine, you're probably doing like 40 kilometers an hour, but still, I mean, you still can bang into somebody. And
Yeah.
why, you know, unnecessarily bang into somebody, destroy your car, destroy their car? I mean, people really need to be a little more.
So
you
that's
know,
number one. Stop using the damn phone.
Yes,
Number
absolutely. Be a little more aware of what's happening.
two. Okay.
For sure, you know, people here have zero awareness of what's going on around them. They
Yeah.
just drive like this.
I
you know.
agree.
They
I
just think that if they are here and if they've given their indicator, they have the right to go anywhere at any time.
Okay.
So,
कोई तो इंडिकेटर देते भी नहीं है
mostly,
या
yeah.
इंडिकेटर राइट का दिया होता है और टर्न लेफ्ट
So,
करते हैं वो
see, you know, when you start driving abroad, you know, the first thing they tell you is to have awareness, to
Yeah.
have common sense.
Yeah.
You know, have awareness, have common sense, be a little patient,
Hmm.
and be courteous, yeah, on the road.
Okay.
Very, very important. be
Civic sense,
courteous.
you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, whichever way you want to put it, but
Okay.
courteous is very, very important, you know.
Hmm.
That's why half the jams happen in this country, because nobody cares about the other person. They want to get out first.
Yeah.
So be courteous, just wait. It's going to take 5 seconds of your time
Hmm.
to actually avoid a jam,
Yeah.
where you could spend another 10 minutes.
Okay.
This is what common sense and courteous, if you apply these two things,
Yeah.
you're going to be super happy and everyone around you is going to be happy. You're not going to have quarrels. You won't have road rage.
Road rage.
Yes.
Do you think that is the most dangerous sort of a trend on Delhi roads or just roads
Oh, I
in
think
general?
I think it's absolutely stupid to have road rage. You know
Okay.
why? Because
See, coming from a rally driver and a person who's into motorsport for how many years now?
27th concurrent year,
If
25th
he's saying
year.
that road rage is a terrible idea, you guys should.
Yeah, I mean,
really
I also
take
get
it from
angry,
that.
but
Yeah.
I just ignore it.
Yeah.
And half the time I don't drive because I can see so many stupid people driving around the road. I mean, for what I want to say is the car more important or a 10,000 rupee bumper more important than your life?
Yeah.
You know what? It's okay if you crash, or you hit somebody, you hit somebody. What is the point fighting about it?
Hmm.
You can just pay for a 10,000 rupee. If you can afford a 20 lakh rupee car, you can definitely afford to pay 5,000 rupees to repair it.
Okay.
Or you can ask the other person to repair it for you if it's his fault.
Hmm.
What's the point getting into a fight, an argument, probably hitting each other, breaking your nose, ending up in jail? Then you'll probably spend 5 lakh rupees getting out of on bail or to paying the lawyer. So it's better to just stop that whole scenario there and just walk off here.
To be a good driver on Indian roads, you have to know how to save yourself first, right?
Absolutely.
Then save the other person.
Yeah. First of all, have
First
to
of all,
save all the bikers, I think.
All the bikers, yeah.
Because they don't know what's
Yeah.
happening.
एक जरा ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਗੱਡੀ 'ਚ ਵੀ ਲੱਗਿਆ sunroof. आजकल बड़ी accidents भी हो रहे हैं with the kids popping out of sunroofs and for some reason parents are allowing them to stand here and look outside, which is something that they can easily do from here as well. What do you have to say about that?
Well, the sunroof in my car never ever opened. I think
Neither
all my
did in
cars.
mine, yeah, it just-
they'd
it was
probably be jammed because what's
It
the
was
point?
closed.
A,
Yeah.
it's only going to give you more dirt, pollution,
Huh.
and
Yeah.
fumes from the other car in front
Yeah.
of you.
Yeah.
B, it's only going to, again, I mean, it serves no purpose for me. I mean, unless you're in the mountains, you just pop it open and enjoy a cool breeze or a cool, some nice warm sun if it's a very cold day. So that was the concept of the sunroof. To be honest, it's an American thing and a European thing why it's called a sunroof is because you get some more sun to see and enjoy some nice fresh air. But if you don't have fresh air around you, why open it? It's super common to see so many kids, popping out of the sunroof. I don't want to really be a critic around this because okay, all the children like to just do something different, on a given day, and it's okay if you're just around the neighborhood driving slowly or something, and there's nothing around you, and you give a round or chakkar or a small chakkar around the house to just give them a feel of that. And but you obviously, I'm never going to open that for my kids to pop out on a main road. That's not what it's meant to be.
Yeah.
And it's completely putting your child's life in extreme risk and danger. And we've seen that, on some social media that, children actually banging their head on an overhead.
There've been a lot of
gutter,
accidents with them
and it
popping
can
off.
be completely fatal,
Yeah.
even at 10 kilometers an hour.
Yeah. तो अगर आप सुन रहे हैं और आपकी गाड़ी में सनरूफ है, प्लीज उसको मत खोलिए और ये स्टंट्स करने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है, राइट?
Especially with your own children or your
Yes.
cousins or nephews. I mean,
Yeah.
you're putting their lives at risk, not yours.
What is your view on dash cams? Do you think that they're necessary? Do you think they're not necessary? Off late, there have been many accidents and all that have been recorded on dash cams and they save lives. But off late, a trend जिस तरह चले है ना कि dash cam.
I've been seeing a lot of these dash cams trending nowadays. I mean, I think it's quite okay and a necessary feature to have in your car. Why not?
Okay.
Because given the fact the way people are driving around and like I said, they're not courteous, there's no common sense, and they just want to rush into everything, and half the people won't admit it was their mistake.
Yeah.
Even if they were wrong, they'll say it was your mistake. This is a very common thing on Indian roads.
I'm going to have you rate a few car makers, very popular ones,
So
on their safety.
Okay.
Just car makers and these are popular Indian cars. Literally every household has one.
Yep.
Okay, but I want you to rate them on their safety,
Okay.
the build quality and their safety. So you give
But
them
I
marks.
haven't crashed them, so how do I know?
That's okay. You don't need to crash them. Please don't
Crash
go
test.
crashing around
Crash
those
test.
cars.
Crash test.
He's not crash tested those cars, but just as on their build quality and on their safety. What
But
do you
maybe
think
I
of
haven't
them?
driven all of them. So anyway, let's start.
Okay, so you can 1 being the lowest and 10 being the highest. ठीक है?
Yeah.
Okay, number 1 is Hyundai.
Maybe 6.
6.
Yeah.
Kia.
6. It's the same thing.
Okay. Maruti.
Maybe 5.
Okay.
Depending on which model.
Okay. A Tata.
Some models maybe 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mahindra. Don't be biased.
No, I wouldn't be biased. I mean, I'm just going with the facts around. Yeah, 8.5, 9. Some models.
Okay. Honda.
Yeah. About 7.5.
Okay. Toyota.
Yeah, for sure 8.5, 9. For
MG.
sure. Difficult one. I think maybe 6.5.
6.5.
Yeah. Some
Okay.
of them I don't know.
Skoda VW.
Yeah, 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now give me quick answers. Okay,
Yeah.
whatever comes to your mind first. Helmet or a seatbelt first
But it depends if you're on a bike or a car.
in a car.
Of course, seatbelt. And then the helmet.
Speed or control.
Control. Only then you can go fast.
Okay. Power or brakes.
Brakes, because then you can stop with the power that you have.
Okay. Experience or instinct.
For sure, experience.
Okay. A fancy car or a safe car.
Get a safe car, make it fancy.
Nice. I like that. Okay, Ji, we are going to end with the 2 short questions, which is that if you could change one law or habit in our country to save the most lives in India, what would it be?
Have a very, very intensive driving license test and a program.
I agree. I was going to say that.
And bump up the driving license cost.
It should be very, very tough to get a driving license.
But there are certain factors around this, Neha, because it's not only one thing. The other thing what I would want to improvise or rather, concentrate on is to have a certain degree of consistency, the way the roads are made,
Okay.
as in like the width of the road, the standards of the sidewalks.
Okay.
For example, here there is no sidewalk, right? This road, if you go about 500 meters down the road, it was 4 lanes. Then it goes into 2. Then again it goes into 3.
Yeah.
Then it goes into 1.
Yeah.
There is no consistency,
No consistency.
of, a pattern which they must follow. If you see like Dubai, UK, France, there is if you start from point A to go to point B, if you stick to a certain interstate highway,
Yeah.
they'll all continue to have a 10-meter road or
Okay.
a 15-meter road for the next 50 kilometers.
Yeah.
Then there'll be markings that, okay, now you're going to change the highway. It's going to turn into a 4-lane highway. Again, that 4-lane will be 4-lane for 100 and 200 kilometers. It won't come, turn into 5 lanes or 3 lanes. I mean, of course it does. I'm not saying it will continue. But there are markings, the traffic will merge into each other consistently, safely. There won't be jams. Half the jams are because there is no space, no road.
Yeah.
So that also attributes to a lot of safety standards because the traffic, people can't suddenly decide where to go. There are medians on the middle of the road. Like if you see in Gurgaon, you see a car crashing on that median every day.
Okay.
Because it's unmarked, it's unnecessary.
Huh.
The transport departments have decided, okay, now we'll put a median here. And we'll open it up without any marking. Then there is no instructions on where the exit points are. Like there should be like 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers before the exits. They'll put the instructions that, okay, this is where you have to take an exit to Gurgaon, right here. So obviously people are going to brake in panic. The car behind is doing 60 kilometers and he's going to crash into you because he's not prepared for you to brake on the highway.
Yeah.
So that happens every day, There's just not driving. I mean, it's a 360 program that they have to completely revamp and change, I think.
Finally, what does being a lifesaver on Indian roads actually mean to you?
Being the smartest driver around.
Yeah?
Yeah, of course. For sure.
Smartest driver around.
I mean, I'm not talking about me myself. I'm saying if you're a smart and one of the smartest guys in the traffic, in the way you're driving, I mean, you're going to save your lives and other people's lives.
What does that mean? Like, how do you become a smart driver?
Well, there's so many things. Like I said, you have to be very aware of what you're doing. You should know the car that you're driving. You should know it well. You should know the roads well. If you don't know the roads well, then you should be aware and make smart moves.
Can I
But
also
I
add
think
to
it-
that you should be able to see the car which is ahead of the other car?
So that's exactly awareness.
Like preempt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Like for me, if I'm overtaking somebody on a single lane road, I generally see through the windscreen of this car
Yes.
to see if there's any oncoming traffic.
Yeah,
So and just make smart moves.
Yeah.
Don't make dumb moves.
Yeah. Guys, take tips from this episode and I hope this helps you guys to become smarter drivers. Don't be stupid behind the wheel. That's all I can say. Save your own life, save others' lives. Keep your kids and your family safe and keep watching this for more tips like these. Thank you, Gaurav. I've
Thank
had a
you.
lovely time
Absolutely.
sitting next to
likewise.
you. I've not navigated you. I mean,
That's not
okay.
required here.
That's not required, but nevertheless, I've had. Yeah, रोज किसको मिलता है मतलब Gaurav Gill is driving them around town, right? So
No,
I'm
it's
very
been a
lucky.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.